Hello and welcome back to the Wine Club, episode 15. I can't believe it. We've had 14 episodes and over 2,500 listens. So thank you ever so much for showing your support to the Wine Club podcast. Next up, we have Jess Winter from Blackpool, an absolute legend. I've been following Jess for many years now, and it's great to have a conversation. We cover Blackpool skate scene, being the only female skater in Blackpool at the time, and female skateboarding then and now, and we even cover graphic design and fine art. So please enjoy this awesome episode with Jess Winter. Roll the tape.
Who are you guys working for?
Who is this?
It's SkateWine.
Oh, beautiful.
Did you say SkateWine?
Yes, sir.
Hello and welcome to episode 15. I hope I've got that right. 15. And today we have Blackpool resident Jess Winter. How's it going, Jess?
Ooh. I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good. I'm forgetting all the OBS buttons here. I'm getting every single cut scene wrong. So
Life goes on.
I'm out of practice since being in Mexico. Trying to get back into the swing of these podcasts. And to break the ice, the good old icebreaker question: if you were in a bar and you were going to order yourself as a alcoholic beverage, preferably wine, just to keep in fitting with this, what would you describe yourself as?
So, unfortunately, I'm not actually a fan of wine.
Oh, no.
There was a phase in my life where we used to make festival sangria, where you get a box of wine, some Vimto and some lemonade. And that was like festival sangria because it was cheap and you could take it in. But I don't really drink wine. But, oh, God, everybody has so much shit for saying this. But I'd either be two drinks, I reckon. I'd be a can of Carling, only because it's just straight to the point, innit? It's cheap, it's beer, straight to the point. And because as well, when I used to come home from Leeds to Blackpool and visit all my lads, if I left booze anywhere, it get drank. Like, it pissed me off to no end. So I got to the point where I was like, right, what do they hate the most? They hated Carling, so I used to buy Carling. And I'd come back 3 months later, there'd still be a crate of Carling because they just wouldn't drink it. Like, so yeah, it'd be Carling, or it'd be like a Tommy's Margarita.
That's such a good strategy.
Yeah, buy shit they don't like, and then through that, I just carried on drinking it. I was like, actually, this is cheap and it's all right. But yeah, otherwise a Tommy's Margarita, because I love tequila and it's very sharp, but it's a bit of a mess. That's
okay.
like how I feel my life is.
Do you like tequila?
I love tequila.
Have you been to Mexico?
I haven't, no, but my boss, my old boss, he opened up a bar. And I learned so much about tequila. Not that crap you get in Sainsbury's with the. Do you know what? When people are like, "Oh, do you want a shot?" They show me that. I'm like, no. It's that 100% agave. Beautiful. Yes, I love it.
Nice. So I've lost my trail of thought. I was looking at my sound. Sorry. You just reminded me regarding You're in Blackpool now, are you?
Well, I'm in a little OAP town next to Blackpool called St Anne's. It's like God's waiting room. That's where we are. But we are.
That's so similar to North Devon. I love that. God's waiting room. I'm going to have to remember that one.
Yes, remember it. But we're in a little town next to Blackpool, but it's just easier to say Blackpool.
Yes, I just realised I've set up my sound. I'm such a schoolboy. I set up my sound wrong, so I was on my headphones instead of my actual mic. Which I was like, The sound is really strange, and I've just realised that I had it all set up wrong. So apologies about that.
We're always learning.
Now you sound so much better. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to cut all this out. That's better. These headphones go into some sort of weird mode where, like, if you're using the mic, it sounds dreadful. So now it sounds really nice. Sorry about that. That was such a.
No, it's okay. It's a lot more high tech than mine. You know.
They've got to be Apple though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
What reminded me or made me think is I thought a good question to go into from last week's podcast with Chaz is how would you describe Blackpool and maybe that area's skateboarding scene? What differentiates it between other skate scenes in the country?
I thought you were just going to ask me about Blackpool as a whole then. I was just like...
What do you think of Blackpool Pleasure, Mitch?
It's expensive. The thing is, I'll be completely honest. When I was younger, I was never really a part of the Blackpool scene. It was more the St Anne's kind of area. So I don't feel like I've got a real right to comment on the Blackpool scene, to be honest. But from me as being younger, it was always very welcoming now. If I went to Stanley Park when it was just, I mean, it was metal ramps, then wooden ramps, and now we finally got a skate park. Yeah, it was wooden ramps, which is just ludicrous to put in the centre of Blackpool anyway. And yeah, it was just, yeah, always said welcoming. Ramp City is basically where I started everything. So yeah, the scene was always very welcoming. It's just I didn't really grow up in the street skating. I grew up in my street skating, but not so much Blackpool. So yeah, I can't really comment on something that I didn't 100% experience.
So were you brought up in St Anne's then, just outside of Blackpool?
No, so I like to describe myself as just northern because actually was born in Salford.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Manchester for 10 years of my life, and then moved to North Shore, Blackpool when I was a kid to a hotel because I think my parents had a midlife crisis and were like, you know what we should do? Buy a hotel in Blackpool. So lived in a hotel, and then we moved to St Anne's when I was about 14. Weirdly, I've just moved into a house opposite that house that I moved into.
No way.
Yeah. And I remember being stood, this was maybe a year after I'd started skating when I was about 15. I remember being stood sweeping the floor in there, and two of my lads, which are still my lads now, walked past and were like, "Don't you skate?" like through the window. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm your neighbour now." So I moved to St Anne's, and then I moved to Leeds when I was 18, and I moved back 2 years ago.
Ah, okay. And so how was the skate scene? How does the skate scene now differentiate between other skate scenes? Can you answer that one? Because it's a little bit different to when you started, maybe. Or is it still unfair to ask?
No, because basically when I moved to St Anne's, that's when I feel like all my state skating kind of started for me when I was maybe 14, 15, because all the lads around here were so welcoming.
Okay.
They didn't treat me any differently. I just went down and they were just like, oh, try this, try this, try this. And it's just always been really welcoming. And yeah, I don't really think it's changed much apart from the fact we're all nearly 30 and we've got back problems now. That's pretty much the only difference. And we can hold our booze a bit better.
I've got a question for that actually. I'm pleased that you brought that up because the Olympic qualifiers has just happened, and I think like the top 10 or top 8 were all like the average age was something like 15 or 16. I remember thinking like Poppy Olsen, who I think is incredibly young, was almost one of the eldest competitors in the
Yeah.
top. I think it might have been the semis or quarters, but I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I looked at all the ages. It was like 14, 15, 15, 21. And I was like, that's still dead young, but it's insane. Like, imagine having these opportunities when we were kids. Like, it's insane. And I'm so stoked for the next generation to kind of have that and have parents that are super supportive and want to take them to skate events, want them to meet older skaters and share all the experiences. And then, yeah, the younger skate scene have got it made. Like they really have, and I'm so happy for them. So happy for them.
I think that with that age difference, especially compared to the average age of probably the men's, the female skateboarding level is just gonna go crazy now. I believe because you've still got like Andy Mack in the skateboard GB team entering, and it's just like that age difference between someone like Sky Brown is just incredible.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. Like, I think. It's not even now that like the female level has gone up. I think it was just always just going up. And I think there were, God, even when I was skating, there was still girls that were absolutely shredding. Like regardless, it just unfortunately just didn't have the big boom behind it. But now it does. So
the money. Bringing it back to why you started skateboarding. Amy Ram's going to hate me because this is a general question. But what did get you into skateboarding when you first started?
So when I went through, I was going through my very emo phase, right? So my fringe was here.
Did you have MySpace?
Oh yeah, MySpace, Bebo, you name it. I had horrific hair extensions, with like the different I found some of those pictures the other day. Studded belts, the lot. And I used to watch all Kerrang, all the Scuzz, and then MTV, and then Viva La Bam. And I remember just watching that and just being like, I want that. I want that fun. I want that freedom. I want that I don't give a shit attitude. let's just go out and just do it and have fun. And then a guy I went to high school with was a blader. I feel like fruity booters are like an endangered species now. You just don't see them anymore. Bless them.
Unless you
Are
go
they
to
okay?
Mexico, yeah.
Yeah. Are you okay?
They've
Let us
all
know if you're
morphed
out
into
there.
scooters.
Oh God, we'll get onto that later. But yeah, from that, one of the lads was a blader and was like, "You should come to Ramp City." So I begged my mum. She got me an Argos skateboard. It was like £9.99. I don't even think the wheels span properly. No concave, no nothing. Just like I don't know what it was. And yeah, from that moment on, I was at Ramp City every Friday night after school, skating down the side Mongo, and then just pumping on the mini. And I did that for years.
So it was the emo. I guess it was quite because like you had like Skater Boy by Avril Lavigne, and like a lot of skate culture was in like punk music and emo music. Was it that kind of inspired you?
100%. Yeah, like you look at like some 41s, like Into Deep video, the skaters everywhere. It's whenever I hear that music, it takes me back to like that time and like just the feelings that you felt and of that. Oh, I'm so misunderstood. No one understands me. Like kind of mindset of oh, I'm not emo. I definitely bloody was. But yeah, I loved it. Yeah.
Sum 41. That's such a blast from the past. You're taking me down memory alley.
Honestly, this year I'm on my 15-year-old like tour. I've just seen Paramore. I've got Fall Out Boy in October, and I've got Blink 182 in October, and I'm going to cry the whole time.
When you said Sum 41, I thought you meant Blink 182 because I accidentally came across Missing You on Spotify, and I was like, this is such a tune.
Yeah, those are the tunes that remind me of like when I first started skating. I'd put my headphones in because obviously I was the only girl there. I'd close myself off from the world, and then I'd just go for it. Those are the songs that kept me company.
That's interesting. You should say that. Did you used to put your headphones in as a security thing and kind of switch off to the fact that you were?
Yeah.
Because I found that in Mexico, a lot of the female skaters in Mexico tend to wear headphones, and me being an idiot, it's just like I find people wearing headphones like kind of. I'm such a trawler. Shout out to trawler. Such a like kind of you're going down. Well, for me, you're going skateboarding. You're going down to be social. But I guess if I put it into retrospect and I was doing something that was maybe female dominated, you might just want to enjoy skateboarding for skateboarding and not have to deal with people maybe harassing you at the skate park.
I don't think it's like that anymore. I mean, for me personally, like these are all my experiences and my like opinions on it, like and what I've been through. But when I was younger, you would get stares. Like there was never any girls down at the skate park, maybe one or two. That's about it. And then maybe you'd get some girls coming on some trips every now and again. But you were stared at in the sense of it, just because it was something that hadn't been seen before, like or seen as often. I'm not saying there weren't girl skaters about, but up here I never really met any. And so I just used to pop my headphones in, blast my very emo related music, and I'd just crack on. So now it is still like a security blanket. So even if I'm at a skate park now, if I will always have my headphones in, like always. I have to be able to listen to music when I skate. But I'm a lot more confident now, and I know that a lot of people like maybe just want to say hello or like whatever, and I'll always make sure that if I'm not trying anything, one of my headphones is always out of like I'm not ignoring you, but this is the way I do things.
I think that's something that I hadn't respected. Is it's you're like anyone that's wearing headphones. If you're enjoying skateboarding, you just want to listen to music. You don't, because I'm an extrovert. Maybe an introvert just wants to enjoy skateboarding for skateboarding. I think that's something that I would criticize myself of a criticism within skateboarding. So what tune did you used to have a Walkman, a tape Walkman?
I had the CD Walkman. Yes, not skating though. I remember it. My mum bought it for me. It was it was the new iPod. And do you remember it had the camera on the back of it? Do you remember that iPod?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so it was a green one and my mum got it for me. And I used to have my iPod in my back pocket when we'd skate.
Nice. I'm slightly before your generation then. I've still got my Walkman.
When you said Walkman, I was like, I did, but I think I was about 7, mate.
Before skateboarding.
Before I started skateboarding, yeah.
What tunes were you listening to? Was it Blink 182 and Paramore back then?
Back then it was, but now oh, it's taken on a life of its own, really. Like I still listen to that, but I remember doing a Red Bull um like competition during lockdown, and it was a socially distanced comp, and it was really cool how they did it. Was that they got us down, filmed a line with us, and then kind of whatever line we got that was entered in, and then whoever won. But none of us were skating with each other. None of us knew who we were skating against, apart from me and this lass from Leeds, who we figured out we were both doing it. So I like showed up earlier to because it was her first competition to like give her a hug and be like, "You okay?" And she was like, "Oh, it was so nerve wracking." And they were like, "How do you guys know you're here?" I was like, "Girls talk. Like we know these things." And I had my headphones in while I was doing this, and Jake Powell was like, "Jess, what are you listening to?" And I was like, "Tarzan." And it was like Son of a Man, just like to proper get me hype. And my music taste is something else. Like I'll go from like Tarzan to Ariana Grande to like The Greatest Showman to then heavy like metal or something. Yeah, it's a bag of everything.
That is so good. I love that. And with what you said about being supportive, do you find that because when you said you first started skateboarding, you were like the only female. Now with like the Olympics, and it's something that the commentators kept mentioning, and I think it's true for whatever competition you're in, is the support that like each other gives, and the especially the female skateboarding competition, they were going over hugging each other. Do you feel that now with skateboarding in Britain at least?
I've always felt it, to be honest, before Olympics, before anything. I've always felt that sense of like hype and the support of people around you. But I think, yeah, I've always felt it, but I think a lot of people from the outside world that didn't quite understand what goes on in skateboarding have seen what we see every day and why we love it so much and why we want to support people joining the community and being part of it is because it just gives you that hype and that support. Like I can remember my first ever competition at NASS. Great first competition, Jess. It's fucking massive. Well done. Just absolutely stupid. Like why would that be your first comp? But I went into it obviously really scared, but then the support and the hype you get, it's just skating with your mates. That is literally it. It was like me, Freya, Cass Shanks, I'm going to miss some people out, Lola, Helena, Jess Ruffle. I was going to call her Jeff then because that's what she goes by on Instagram. Like all of us were together and it was just like we were all just skating and having a laugh. And if you land something that's sick, if you don't land something, it's like, that's sick. There's never oh, you did bad there. There's never that in skateboarding. It's just like, that was sick. Whether you bailed or you didn't, like, it doesn't matter.
I love that NASS always gets mentioned in this podcast. What year was that? What year was the first?
2019 was my first comp, but I've been going to NASS since I was for 10 years. I've been going to NASS.
Oh, that's awesome.
I've been in the background.
What made you finally enter the competition then after all those years?
So mainly very respectful abuse. Do you know what I mean? Like that respectful skater abuse you get, like, just fucking do it. What are you doing? Like, why are you fucking about? Just like, what have you got to lose? That kind of mentality. There was 3 reasons I entered NASS. That when like, especially women, they asked me about my experience with that. There's 3 reasons. First one, if there's some young girl up there watching me with her family, even a teenager, even an older, woman, doesn't matter, whoever, it could be a lad, doesn't matter the gender. Someone watching me going, well, if she can do it, I can do it. That's it. She can go in there for a minute 30 and do that. Why can't I? And that might encourage someone to do something that they've wanted to try for ages and then do that. Second of all, I go to NASS every year because of the people. Like that's just the end of the thing for me. I don't care competition status, any of that. It's just the people I've met every single year for the last 10 years. And like the fact that I can go anywhere in the country now and know someone there. And that's kind of what NASS brought for me. And the third reason is it's a free Chesterfield ticket. Like they're asking you to come to a festival and hang out with your mates, see all these acts, but do you want to just skate for a minute 30? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, shout outs to NASS. And I think that's something they need to remember if they listen to this, is that it is there's an aspect of the community, the BMX community, the skate community. I mean, I don't know why, but they got rid of the blading, and there's obviously, well, you mentioned it earlier, the fruit boots disappearing. But it's a community, and it's the crossover.
Yeah.
Like, I know a few BMXers, and it's just so great to see everyone, and it's a good competition,
go
a
and
good
have a laugh.
festival. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's literally all it is a laugh. And I think, I'm happy that like NASS sorted out. I think it was mainly due to like the girl skaters and stuff fighting for it, but like, like equal prize money, equal practice time. I remember we didn't have any practice time one year, so like me and the young kids, bless them, they were up at like 11:30. We crashed the pro athlete practice at 11:30, knowing there's only be like 3 people there, and we just crashed it because we were like, well, we don't have any time to practice, so we're going to go. If you're going to give us a separate comp, at least give us like, yeah. So that was really funny, and so we've got some time to skate. But like the things, it just brings us all together. That's all it is. Like, and that's what I've said to some girls who are thinking about competing this year. When they've asked me about it, I've just been like, it is just a laugh after the comp. If you're of age, no one gives a shit, and we head to the bar. That's just it.
Exactly. Have you done any other competitions since then? Did you enter? So you hadn't entered any comps up till NASS.
No.
So have you? I can't believe that. So did you
No.
enter any comps after? Have you done any comps? Because obviously COVID came in and everything shut down. But
I did. Well, after that NASS, my confidence like grew immensely, just in myself, my abilities, and just like, well,
that's
I can
awesome.
do that if I want to. It doesn't matter how good I am. It doesn't matter whether I land any tricks. I can just go and have fun. And if people want to invite me down, sick. So I did really plan to enter more comps and be a lot more like active in that area. And then, yeah, COVID hit. And that confidence kind of went down a little bit. But then I got invited to do the Red Bull thing at Greystone,
Yes.
which was super fun. Yeah, it was really, really fun. It was so nice to see people. And then, yeah, after that, it was just NASS again. It was like, oh, I wasn't going to compete last year, but then they sent me a Friends of NASS email like, oh, do you want to come? And I said, yeah, sure. Don't have to skate, mint. And then they were like, actually, would you skate? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not?
Brilliant. That's so good. Who won the Red Bull? Was it on social media only then? But you got invited
Yeah, it was
to the skate
social
park?
media. I can't remember off the top of my head. I've got a memory like a bloody goldfish. Don't remember these. I'm pretty sure that Connie from Manchester, I'm pretty sure she placed. But yeah, I can't remember for the life of me.
Did you skate? That was in the Manchester hub then, the skate park there?
No, Greystone.
Greystone, sorry, that's what I meant, Greystone. So
Yeah.
did you skate when you were in Leeds? Did you skate much of were you part of the well, where did you skate when you were in Leeds? Where was like the place that you skated, or did you not skate?
So Leeds was where I finally came like fully out of my like little skate shell that I'd made for myself. So after starting skating, I moved to uni when I was 18, and I stopped skating for about 6 years. Now, when I say stop skating, I never stopped. I never stopped going to the events or seeing people or whatever, but I didn't try anything. I didn't go, oh, I'm going to land this. And not because I felt any certain way about the Leeds scene. I just didn't know where to go. I didn't know where to get started. And then I saw this thing in like a magazine in uni, and it was like Humans of Leeds. And there was this girl skater stood there talking about these girls' nights that she put on. Or not that she put on, that were just put on in general, I think. Okay. And I just decided to go down there one night, and that was it. And I thrived in Leeds. I met the most amazing people. Really good friends with a girl called Jess, who started rolling with the girls. That literally brought all these girls out of everywhere. And then from there, I made more friends, more connections. And that's where I really became like my skater self, if that makes sense.
That's amazing. That was from going to the girls' night they were running there.
Yeah. I just met a couple of people, and then we ended up meeting in town, and we're like, oh yeah, we'll skate together, we'll learn. And yeah, that's where it came about.
Like-minded people.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. Is that what inspired you? Because you ran a girls' night in Blackpool, right?
Yeah, so I actually started the Blackpool girls' night before I moved back to Blackpool. I was still living in Leeds. Yeah, and I spoke to Woody.
That's some driving.
And I said, like, yeah. And I was just like, Woody, there's nothing for lasses around here. Like, there's nothing to kind of say, like, you are welcome, by the way. Like, despite what society says, like, men should do this, women should do that. Like, you are welcome, like come on in. And I was like, I want to do something. Do you think we could do something? Do you think we could start something? And after a bit of chatting, we set up this night at Ramp City. And I think, yeah, so that started really good turnout. I think we got like 50 girls on the first one, which was amazing. And then COVID unfortunately hit, but we still decided to like keep them going. And then I showed up to one, and there was 95 girls there. Fucking shit myself. I was like, everyone was wanting help, and I was like, I wanted to hid in my car and vape for like 20 minutes. I was like, too much this. But yeah,
too successful.
Yeah, it was great. And one of the best things about the girls' nights that I put on with Woody, I mean, Woody still runs them, which is amazing. I've just taken a step back for like career and stuff. But the one thing that I really loved about my girls' nights was that I wanted to get rid of this divide. This men are intimidating, they're not welcoming at skate parks. Don't get me wrong, some arseholes out there. There's always going to be arseholes. But the skate community around here is sound. So I actually enlisted my lads and I said, I want you to come coach girls' nights. And they were like, what? And I was like, yeah, I want girls to know you're not scary. You might be 6 foot tall and, built like a shit brick house, but you're sound. And then also that encourages girls as well to come to skate outside of girls' nights. So if they come back and they see one of my lads or see one of the lads that was helping out, they can be like, oh, know him. Like, I've got someone here that I know if I need to ask for anything. So that was a really successful part of it for me, is that we all got to teach like the girls in the area.
That's awesome. That was for me a biggest part of, and I understand it now. It's been explained to me a number of times, and I think that it's so important to be able to have a female night where it's only females, and then maybe female nights where there is your lads that are supporting. Because some people have had horrendous experiences with men, and so I think it's great that people like your lads are able to just be like, hey, we're not all assholes, especially if that's all you've had, like a stepfather or someone being horrible.
Yeah.
So that's so awesome. And like you say, I never thought about it, and I always bring it back to this, is living in Bideford, and it happens generally, Bideford skaters only skated in Bideford when I was young. There was only a handful of people that went down to Mount Hawke. And I remember when I went down to Mount Hawke, being so scared. I didn't know any of the skaters at Mount Hawke. I was crap at skateboarding. It was so scary to be out of my comfort zone, out of my small town comfort zone, and be in a massive skate park. And I think that's the thing now I often forget with running things like SkateWine and this podcast and NASS, going to NASS Festival, is you go to another town, whether I go to Bristol or London or even up north maybe, I'll see people now maybe that I know in the skate park because they were at a festival or a skate comp I'd been to. So it's now so much easier for me to go to different skate parks throughout the country.
Yeah. But before that, it's terrifying. And I think that's what's important. It's just like, we've all gone through these experiences of feeling like shit, we don't know anyone. This is intimidating. I'm crap at skating, all this. Like, and then as you start to get further along within the skate community, you realize none of those things matter. If you go in and you try and you have a laugh, like there's no issue there. And if there is an issue with an arsehole there, like just ignore them. Like
ignore them. And
speak up as well. Speak up if you feel the need to. But if you don't, just ignore. Like for me personally, like obviously I've had comments and what have you. I just laugh it off. I'm like, how sad. Like I feel sorry for them, and I just laugh because I'm like, God, imagine being that small-minded. Like, and I just move on with my life.
Big shout out to Woody and Ramp City. I think the first time I met you was at the Vert series up there, and the first time I met Woody, I was like, this guy is mental in a good way. He's just like me. He's just full of energy, and he's so important, I think, to the Blackpool scene. No.
Well, yeah, he obviously helped massively with the Stanley Park renovation. They fought for that for years. He's been a massive help with the girls' nights, and continues to keep them going, even though the numbers are going down now, because he's actually said people skate outside the girls' night now. I'm like, that's kind of the aim. Like that's what the aim of this is to introduce them and then be like, fly, go skate. It's Woody taught me how to drop in. So
no way. That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I was about 15, 16. I was being a right. I'm not going to say what I was going to say, but I've just been a bit of a wuss, to be honest. I was terrified. It is a terrifying thing. And then he taught me how to drop in. And then when we opened up the girls' nights again for the first time, I said to him, I was like, you need that quarter back. That quarter you taught me how to drop in on. It's not a quarter. It's like a flat bank with a tiny bit of coping. You know, one of those that's really good to. And then he brought it back. We had, it was really nice to see all these new girls enter, and even like young lads and stuff go into that ramp now to learn how to drop in. And I'm like, oh, I learned on that one.
It's super important. I think something that I get annoyed about is, especially with the Bideford skate park, which I've now realised, things that are small used to annoy me. When I was in my teen years, I used to want to hit the biggest thing and ollie the biggest and just do everything massive. And that's what I used to like about Mount Hawk. But I think that's the thing is, since I'm in Bideford, I've never been a rail or a ledge skater. And the ledge isn't small, but the rail is relatively small. And now it's... Yeah. I learned something on there, and you go to Mount Hawk and you can do it on the big rail. And it's like, I get it. I get it now. It's good to have something that's... little. A starting point.
100%, yeah.
What's your favourite thing to skate in Blackpool? What's it called? Ramp City. I've lost my trail of thought.
Ramp City.
Yeah, Ramp City. What's your favourite thing?
I'm such a basic flat bank bitch. Like, honestly, I can't get away from a flat bank. No matter how hard I try, no matter how many other things I try and learn, you'll always see me like gravitate back towards the little street bit and the flat banks. Like, I actually put myself on a flat bank ban when I got back into skating a little, like, because I was like, you're not progressing in any sort of different manner, like whether it's rails or ledges. But it turns out I don't want to skate that, so I'm just going to skate a flat bank. Just a street bit.
What's your least favourite thing? The vert? Have you dropped in the vert?
Have a fuck. Jesus, no. I am terrified of heights, and I'm terrified of dropping in. Still, like not like little ramps, like kind of thing. But I think it's good to voice like when you are still scared. I'm terrified of dropping in. I think there was one. Sorry to like go back to NASS, but like I said, this is where I've got most of it. I shit myself when I had to drop in a 7-foot quarter, and I had Matt Beer and Alex Takuna next to me, and just being like, Jess, this isn't a fucking skate school, right? Drop it, 1, 2, 3, and like I just dropped in, and like I pat my pants. And that was my first ever comp, and I didn't feel like I could even drop in to start. So no, I've not dropped in the vert. I won't be. I'll support anybody else who wants to. I'll be there with a sign like rooting you on, but no.
What's the biggest thing that you've dropped in on?
Probably like 6.
6 foot? Did you say everything in NASS was 7? Come on.
Oh, whatever that was. Don't want to think about that. But yeah, I've just got this irrational fear of like the high drops. It's just not for me. I'm more of a flowy.
With flowy in mind, who's been your inspiration to skate? When you were like, who's been your inspiration when you first started, and like to now? Who do you get inspired by to skate now? So when I was younger, I mean, I don't actually watch skate videos. This is something that always kind of shocks people a little bit. I'm just not a skate video. Like on Instagram, I can see people like, which is mad because we didn't have that when we started skating. We didn't have Instagram. We didn't have all of those things. But I used to go on YouTube and I used to watch Leo Baker's line. There was just this one video, and I can't remember what it was, but yeah, I used to watch that video by Leo Baker over and over to just get that hype, because I was like, they're like me, you know? That's wicked.
Yeah, so I used to watch him, and then now I was actually thinking about this today because I've just reposted little Ava. I don't know whether you've seen her skate.
Ava Godfrey.
Just repost. Yeah. No. Yeah. I'm terrible with last names. I'm terrible with names in general. I'm like, you're right, mate. But I'm watching all these like younger skaters, and it's hyping me up. Like, it's mad. Yeah. But also like, you know, the girls that I also skate with at events and comps and stuff, like they always hype me up. Great to see them. Great to have a drink with them afterwards. But yeah, I think it's the younger generation that's really like pushing me forward now.
That's really cool. Izzy Mutu, who's a Kiwi skater who I think now resides in Australia, posted something recently around the topic of female skateboarding competitions, and I just remember it's like the joke of like the end bit of the joke is that the person who comes first is like this 12-year-old girl who's super good at skateboarding. And I think that's so, now with the Olympics happening last week, the qualifiers in Argentina, it's just so true. Like the top 8 were just all under 20 and just absolutely
Yeah.
smashing it. And it's good that you're being inspired, because I guess you could, I mean, I know I get intimidated when I go to a skate park and someone like George O'Neill, who's like
Half the
not even
size of you.
half the size of me, half the age of me, and he's absolutely smashing it, and I'm just like, I need to go home. And then he's shouting at me, "You're rubbish, Rob, learn to scoot, because there's no point in skateboarding anymore." So
All right, cheers. Yeah, but that's how you take it. You're just like, all right. But no, I think I've just gone. I feel like I've gone like I think a lot of people can be discouraged where you think, oh, like they're 10 and better than me. But in this world, I don't care whether it's skateboarding or art or whatever field you're in, there's always some fucker that's going to be better at you. So stop comparing yourself to that fucker and focus on you. Like, don't matter what anybody else is doing, and it doesn't affect you.
that's right. I was going to ask you, were you ever a computer game enthusiast, and did you ever play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater? Because
I didn't.
you didn't.
I didn't. I was one of those. I didn't. I had a GameCube and Game Boys, and I played like Mario Kart and like Pokemon. That's about it.
Because for me, that was a massive part of massive part of me skateboarding was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. That came out. Our local skate park was being built at exactly the same time by complete coincidence.
It was meant to be.
Exactly. That's 20. I was working out the other day. That's like 23 years ago, I think it is. It was like 2000. The skate park opened in 2000, I think it was, and I must have started around 2000, 2001.
Right.
But Tony Hawk's Pro Skater was massive for me. I used to love like all the skateboarders on there, and so I did wonder whether maybe
I did as well. No, I didn't. Like I feel like I missed out on that kind of bit. But all my lads all played it, and they still play it to this day. Skate as well, because obviously that came out I don't know when that came out. But it was a lot harder, that one, because it was like from what I could see anyway, I'm just crap at games, unless it's like a floating fairy going like collecting like coins or something. It's just not for me.
So
that's what I've discovered.
Outside of skateboarding, what did you do at university? What did you study at uni?
I did fine art.
Yes, we are the fine art crew. Oh, I say fine art. What's it called? It's bachelor's in arts or whatever.
Yeah, bachelor's in the arts. Yes. Well, I wish I did graphic design. I look back now and I'm just like, I just wanted to get out of Blackpool, to be honest. Like, I wanted to get out of the house. I wanted to just go spread my wings. And I was like, well, art's the only thing that I'm like passionate about. So let's do that. And honestly, for me, like I can go into a museum now and spit so much bullshit about what's on the walls and things, the conceptual like context behind it and all that, blah, blah, blah. And some of it is interesting. But then my conclusion after 3 years of studying this and spending 40 grand on a degree is that art is just about pissing people off. That is the conclusion I came to with that 40 grand, was just like, it's just about pissing people off. And I think maybe that's why I kind of maybe went towards it, because I know I pissed people off in my third year because they were like, oh, you can't paint like that. I'm like, who says?
All the art that makes, not that I want to admit this, but all the art that makes the Daily Mail is always stuff that's super inflammatory. Why is it there? Why does it look like this? I mean, Damien Hirst is a big artist around here, and he did the thing in Ilfracombe with the... Well, he's done the cow, yeah, but he did this massive statue of this lady. It's really I'm showing my ignorance. I'm the opposite of you. I don't know anything about art. But I think she's some sort of philosophical person, and half of her is like a woman statue, and the other half has been cut open, so you can see the baby being like produced.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that. Yeah.
So much controversy.
But that's why they do it, to piss you off. Yeah,
that's why
it's like
Damien
that guy.
Hirst.
Yeah, I wrote. God, going back nearly 10 years now since I wrote my dissertation. But like, just even that guy with that urinal. Like from that point on, art was done. Like art was done. It was just like, if you can literally put a ready-made object with someone else's name on it, and But yeah, for me, it was good because it got me to Leeds. And then I worked in hospitality for like 9 years, which I loved. And I still work in hospitality in some aspects. But now I'm a graphic designer and an artist. And then I'm just like, why did it take me 10 years to... But then it did. So life goes on.
Similar position. I've just started my business last year. And I kind of wish I'd done it sooner, really, because...
But I feel like if we think like that, if you think, oh, we should have started skating sooner, we should have started this sooner and all this stuff, I just think everything's meant to happen when it's meant to happen. Like I don't think I was meant to like pick up my board again properly until I like was ready, or until I got absolutely slammed with booze in Leeds for 9 years, and then I went, oh, I should probably not do that. And same with work. I feel like you kind of know when you're meant to start something.
So what is it you do now then? I love the little small. Is it Jess Winter? Jess Winter's Creative, is it?
Oh, Jesse's Creations.
Jessie'sCreations.co.uk.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
it a
it is.
small business website flex? I was like, oh, that's really cool. It's usually like something at
At hotmail.co.uk.
yahoomail.co.uk.
Yeah. We did think that. I was like, which one do I send? But like my personal one just it's just full of like newsletters and things like that I haven't cleared out. Whereas my business one, I keep very clean and tidy. Yeah, I mean, I moved back home because my boss in Leeds let me, well, not let me bring my job here.
Doing it
So I moved
remotely.
back here. Yeah, because I was already doing marketing and social media for them. So I was like, can I just do it from St. Anne's? Like, I'm done with Leeds now. Like I've loved it, but I need to move on, essentially. Moved back here, and then I decided probably about 6 months in that I was like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I working 60 hours a week, even though my boss is super sound, like, and we get on really well? I was like, I just want to do something for me for now. So I actually started skate coaching as a full-time job.
Oh wow!
With other bits on the side. Yeah. So I'm actually a qualified coach.
Was that Ramp City as well, or was that everywhere?
Yeah. That was Ramp City to begin with. I set up my lessons. It went crazy. I had so many people. I was doing about 8 hours worth of lessons every Sunday.
Wow.
All in all, like it was insane the level I got, and it was unbelievable doing it. But it drained my skating because I was giving so much to everybody else. It drained from me, which is why I kind of went off the map a little bit. I kind of lost that drive, so I had to make the really hard decision to just not do it anymore. So yeah, I started at Ramp City, and then I went over to Plant Skate Co, which was a new little skate park that a few local lads had actually built in lockdown, and then opened it up to the public. But we're doing skate lessons and skate parties, so I started doing that there, and then I just decided to focus on art, and then that's how I started Jess's Creations. And when you say what do you do, honestly, I don't know how to answer that. Just anything creative, window paintings, murals. I painted a chair for someone the other day. Anything creative, I'll do it.
I think that I'd seen a picture of you painting. It might have been on Instagram, painting a window display, possibly.
Yeah, so I do a lot of those since last Christmas. Everyone wants window displays, cheaper than decorations, and they don't have to faff about. You know what I mean? I just did one for Live Like Ralph last week. I think it was last week. Yeah, I did one for Live Like Ralph in the town where he's from, to support the Live Like Ralph Tour de Ralph, which is raising money for that.
Okay.
So that was emotional to do that.
Why was it emotional? Am I missing the?
Ralph was the first person to ever speak to me at Ramp City.
Oh right,
Yeah.
I'm with you. Okay.
Yeah, good guy. Took me all over.
It's one of those things where I had, when I got back from Mexico, one of my first jobs was a live stream, and I thought someone was winding me up because they sent me an email and it was for a funeral, and I was like, oh my goodness! And I've only ever done live streaming for skate events, so I was like, I don't know how this is going to go. So I just quoted a really cheap quote, and I thought, as long as I get it done and it's good, then I've got it in the portfolio. I've done it, and the most difficult thing is doing a live stream in a church. It's the walls are like this thick. And they didn't have any Wi-Fi, which I was relying on, so I had to do it from my phone.
Oh no!
Yeah, super difficult, and luckily it worked in the end because it was all
good.
Something like that's all reliant on the
internet.
Yeah,
Mate, that's insane.
What's your favourite thing that you're doing with your business then?
There's a couple of things really. Like, I think it's just like being able to be creative and doing something different every single day, to be honest. I think
Definitely.
That's why I've done what I've done. This week I'm kind of just chilling in the house, just doing graphics and what have you. Next week I've got 3 windows booked in, so that's different. And then the weekend after that, I volunteer for this, but it's Coping Festival in Manchester. And I've done that for the last 3 years. Well, this will be the third year I've done that. And then it's basically to support mental health this year. They always give money to the Ben Ramis Foundation, support money for that and raise money, but they're doing it for the OK Project as well. So it's just a big festival where everyone comes together and just realizes that you can, like, I've lost my train of thought then. The festival itself is just for mental health and well-being through creative and creating and skating. So it's like, how can it help you in any way? So I go down and I just give kids loads of glitter and Posca pens, and I'm just like, go ahead, paint some skateboards, we'll have a laugh.
I was going to ask, do you run a workshop there then?
Yeah. So Skate Hut, that's below Greystone, always seems to get their hands on these skateboards. Unfortunately, they're not skatable. I think they were just like fucked up in production. So they've got like pressure cracks in. You can't skate them, but it means that we can sell them for a very cheap price for that money to go towards the charity. And then the kids get something really cool to take home and put on their wall, which I think is really sick.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a really good festival.
What's your future plans for your... Well, first of all, dare I say it, but what's your website if people wanted to see your work?
Oh, it's jessiescreations.co.uk.
Jessie, I mean, I guess we did just cover that, Rob. Well done. Congratulations.
No. I was thinking, did you cover the email address and I just feel like I'm just going to get so much spam from my email address. Like,
technically, I did cover
the.
Technically, I did cover the email address, to be fair, but for anyone that's tech savvy would know that that's probably the website too. But I thought it'd be good to get a shout out to your website. What's your future plans? What's your future plans for Jessie's Creations? Honestly,
like a year ago, I had such like a big, like, I'm going to do this, this, and this. But every time I make a plan, it just goes to shit. Like in a good way, though, that other things are presented in my way. So I think for the next year, I'm just going to roll with it, like, and see what happens. Like, every time I think I've got a quiet month, I get like 4 jobs. So I'm like, well, this is pretty sick. So if I'm obviously doing something right. So yeah, I'm just going to roll with it and see what happens. Like, I'm definitely going to get my hands on that Posca wall at NASS, though.
I was going to say, have you done anything for NASS? This is turning into the Jess Winter and NASS podcast.
Yeah, fucking hell. Plus, that's where most of my experiences have like come from. Do you know what I mean? And like the community and stuff. No, I haven't. I know that Geordie a few years ago, when Geordie first met me, because it turned out I went to college with his niece in Preston.
Small world.
Which was insane, yeah. So I remember us taking a picture and sending it to her, like, oh, look who I'm with, kind of thing. But yeah, he tried to get me involved a long time ago, but because I was so young, I didn't have any experience about putting anything like that on. And the level of those guys there is absolutely insane. I'd just be happy with my pen, to be honest. There was one year I did get my hands on everyone's skateboards. I brought my own Poscas and I like drew over everyone's skateboards during NASS.
Is Posca, is that a kind of pen then for the people like me who are ignorant?
Yeah, do you want me to show you my little...
Oh, we're getting one out.
Look, here it is.
Wow.
These are Poscas, and this is my little art workbox.
Are they permanent?
Yeah. Not on Windows.
Oh, right. Okay. I was going to say, so you don't want to do them on the wall then, because that'll be forever.
Permanent. Yeah.
What did you find? Going back to the fact that you were in Leeds for a little bit, was there differences between the Blackpool and the Leeds scene? And how did you find the difference? Dare I use a pun? But how was the transition between Blackpool and Leeds skateboarding?
I don't skate transition, if you haven't noticed. So, to be honest, it's hard for me to say really, because they are two completely different scenes. Like, I made some absolutely amazing friendships there in Leeds. But this will always be home for me. I think that's maybe the only difference. Like, as much as I have a Leeds family and I know that I go up there, I still, pop in welcome when I'm there to see the lads and the lasses and everyone in between. Like, I see everybody. I go up for birthdays and stuff. Like, the family's still there, but I think for here, this is just more home. And I've got to the point where I'm just a bit more settled now, instead of like running around the country 24/7. I'm just like, I just want to be at home. Like, and I think that's the difference for me, is like, I feel like I'm home skating now.
Yes. Yeah. But having a female skate run night that welcomed you into the Leeds scene, maybe was a bit of the difference when, at least when you went there, because now you've managed to take that back to Blackpool.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the thing is, there's other collectives and groups around here that are, doing the same thing, bringing like women together, making sure that they have safe spaces, and I applaud that. And I'm just like, yeah, you need any help, give us a shout, kind of thing. But I think after I gave up my skate lessons and everything, I kind of just took a back step, and I was like, I just need to focus on my skating, my career, and just my family, really.
Yes, definitely. That's definitely something I've done recently, and that's why I haven't been able. Well, that and the Mountain Hawk guys, haven't been going to many of them this year, but the Vert series have taken a step back from that and just concentrating on doing
And no,
things like
you're not in Blackpool.
When is it? We should probably do a little cheeky Vert series shout out.
I was going to say it was. It's this Saturday. We could have literally done this whole thing
live
on Blackpool Prom.
Ah.
We could have done it in deck chairs on the comedy carpet, where like that's a skate spot now because it's all smooth. We could have just sat there on deck chairs and had an ice cream.
I've been meaning to do it face to face with someone. I tried to get Oscar Meza to do it, but he was too busy. But it would be great to get this to a point where some are like this, and then some are actually in like person to person, 2 cameras set up. Blah, blah, blah.
Well, yeah, there's all the upcoming events this summer. Do you know what I mean? There's all your Vert series. I mean,
I've not thought about that. Just take a couple of cameras along and get it done.
Exactly. For God's sake, James Threlfall interviewed me on a G-Shock bus with a banana once, so you don't really need the high-tech gear. You know what I mean?
Shout out to James Threlfall. Well, I'm going to round this up a little bit. What would you say to a girl that was thinking about skateboarding now, but maybe hadn't taken that step into the skateboarding world? What would you say as encouragement to?
So it's really funny you've just said that, because that's actually the last question that James asked me.
Oh, James Threlfall.
But I was 10 shots deep in 10 minutes, like 10 shots of monkey shoulder whiskey. So I feel like this is my like redemption for that quote. So, because luckily that interview never aired. But what I will say, what I said then was, just fucking do it. Just fucking do it. Like, no one's stopping you. Just fucking do it. Bit more slurred and a bit more pissed. But for me now, what I would say is like, don't let anybody else make you feel like you can't do something. Like, just do it. You know, it is going to be a little bit uncomfortable at first, but everything's a little bit uncomfortable at first, whether it's your first day of school, whether it's first day of college, first day of uni. You know, just find a space, or find a girls' night, or find a skate park, or find a community that fits with you, your experiences and your values, and just roll with that and see where it takes you, because I honestly don't know where I would be now without skateboarding, like 15 years later.
And I think from your experience in Leeds, I think if you have a local girls only night or a night of some sorts, go along and just say hello to people, because I still feel that, I mean, even when I started skateboarding, there was still the cliques, and it definitely
there'll
was.
always be cliques. Yeah, it's an unfortunate thing. There's always going to be cliques. There's always going to be, you know, arseholes, and there's always going to be people that just want to keep to themselves. But at the end of the day, like, just find people that you resonate with on a personal level, that you've got the same, like, you don't even have to have the same opinions, ideologies, like anything like that. But if you're just there to have a laugh and have a good time, then that's fine. And then soon you'll find your people, just like I have. And
enjoy skateboarding. Yeah. And if you like just putting an iPod on and not seeing anybody when you
just
get
ignoring
into
them.
it, get on with it, innit?
Don't want to talk to these fuckers. Like, fuck them. That's fine as well. Like, you don't have to fit into any sort of mold. I think that's what's beautiful about skateboarding, is like there isn't like a preset skater mold where you're like, oh, you must do this and this. It's like, no, just go and be yourself. Like you say, you don't want to speak to anybody, fuck them. I
think that's what people were fearing about the Olympics, is you end up with this kind of fratty like mold of people that are, you know, defined by skateboarding. But I hope that it doesn't change. But at the moment, definitely the personalities that were even making it into, you know, the semis and the finals in both the men and women's, the personalities coming through, the styles still very different and unique.
Yeah, and I hope that it just stay like that, you know. But the thing is, something like this has never happened for skateboarding, so we're not going to know, like, until it's done. But then again, even if it stays all different, someone's going to have an opinion on that. Or why isn't all, you know, you can't really win. So just be kind and have a laugh. Like, Just doesn't matter what people are doing. As long as they're enjoying themselves, doesn't matter.
On that note, this is to the listener. If anyone sees a question go up for a guest, and you're thinking, oh, maybe I want to ask it, maybe I don't, ask it. Please ask it, because poor old Jess Winter, although you're happy about this, has got one question in,
That's
and
enough.
it's enough. I've had it. This is a super good question, and massive shout outs to Sophie Ludd's Instagram, and Sophie Ludd as a person has responded with a really good question. Favourite part about skate culture?
Oh, it's the people. It's as simple as that. Like it is. It's hard to like pinpoint one thing, but I would say it is just the people, because it's the people that are around you that build you up, that hype you up, that make you feel good, that make you feel like yourself, and that you've got a place to call home. And it doesn't matter where you go around the world. The fact is, if you hear a skateboard, you're like a meerkat instantly. You're like, friend. Like that is just how it works. And also, like, when you meeting these people, you hear about their experiences. There's people that have been skating longer than I have, and they can share that with you, and then I can share my experiences with like other people, the younger generation, and we can all just it's just the people are fucking sick. They're so much fun.
What were you doing before skateboarding? Did you do any sports or anything before that?
I played football.
So, okay. So was there a difference? And I'm going to assume that there wasn't, but was there much of a difference between female football, the community, and then going into skateboarding? I mean, the biggest one probably was that there wasn't any females in skateboarding at the time.
Well, the hardest thing for me about football is I loved it as a kid. This is when I lived back in Manchester. So I was only about 6 or 7, and I was in primary school, and I loved it. Unfortunately, all the girls got booted off the team because it was mixed. And
No.
yeah, that they basically said, because I'm not saying like obviously I wasn't doing this, but the couple of girls that wanted to come to football, they weren't really playing. So I don't know what the reason was, like, but the girls got shifted off it. So from that, it kind of discouraged me to
And
just not.
there wasn't enough
No,
females for a female team at the
no,
time.
no, no. So yeah,
That's savage.
I forgot what the question was. Sorry, about football and skateboarding.
The difference between the communities, like, I think that's another part of it.
Well, I wouldn't know. Like, I think that's the hardest thing. Like, I wouldn't know, but from what I've seen, so I've just moved into a house. My next door neighbour, their little girl, she's constantly booting footballs. There's about 20 footballs in the garden. She goes to, you can see her on a Sunday in a kit and stuff. It makes me so happy, because unfortunately I didn't have that opportunity. So I made an opportunity for myself within skateboarding. But now, because of how far it's come with, it's still got a long way to go, don't get me wrong, but how far it's come just with women in general in sport and what have you. I was like, it's so sick to see my neighbour just rocking about in her football gear. And I'm like, God, like, I'm so glad you had that. I didn't have that. But through all the stuff that women have been doing, you now have that, which is great.
Something for being British and travelling a lot. That's something that I have to hold quite dear to my heart, is people like yourselves. And I remember England won the World Cup recently, the women's football. Was that right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think it was the Euros, was it?
Was it the Euros? Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I think it was the Euros. I don't really follow football. One of those trophies. They won.
And what I thought was really good, and what I love, was that the representation of female football now is massive. And I believe I was watching the interview with the captain, and they were saying how difficult it had been for their generation coming through, pushing for females football. And now, with the better opportunities and it being, more highlighted on TV, God bless my granddad, rest in peace. I never thought that someone as traditional as him would get into women's football, and he loved it before he
really
kicked the bucket. Yeah, so I think that something like that, the fact that it's not the same in every country, and I think that a lot of British females have pushed so hard for equality within some sports, and now it's so sad, and kind of it kind of wakes me up a little bit for you to say there wasn't a female football team back then, because now I just assume they must be running a female football club.
Yeah, but yeah, no, they didn't back then. In Manchester, of all places, as well.
Quite a big place.
Yeah, and especially with the teams we've got. Yeah, and I think as far as it goes with kind of like the push that women have made for all these things, I think what's great about it is everyone takes a very different approach to how they do it. For me personally, like I think I was just heavily influenced by my mum and my nana, because even though they didn't go around like saying I want this, I want this, they just went and did it. Like my mum was a bus driver, a coach driver. She just actually drove the coaches in Qatar for the World Cup. For
Wow.
Amsterdam. So she had the Amsterdam team. She was sending me pictures of him and like the manager, and I was like, Mum, where are you? What are you doing? So can you imagine, that was like literally all my lads were like saying like, your mum's driving a coach in Qatar, and I was like, yeah. Like, so my mum would just go and show people like, well, I
It's
can do
possible.
this. Yeah, she was a builder, she was a mechanic, she did everything. And then my nana was a forklift driver back in like way back then, and the picture actually got sent to America to be in a magazine to be like, oh, it's a woman driving a forklift. But whereas I think I adapted that from then, and I just go and do it and just show that it doesn't matter, like and hopefully encourage others to do it, whereas other people just take a very different approach of just saying, oh, however they want to approach it, and I'm just happy with mine.
That's some strong female role models that you've had in your life.
I didn't realize until I was like late 20s. I was like, shit, they were badasses, they didn't give a fuck. Like they just went and did it. Yeah.
It's been so good talking to you, Jess. I'm going to round it up with, do you have any final shout outs to people or any final thoughts that you'd like to add?
Oh, let me think. Uh, just shout out to every single skater out there, to be honest. Just keep pushing, keep having a laugh. Like that's what it's all about at the end of the day. Don't let the opinions of others deter you, from who you really are. And yeah, just we're all in it for a laugh, and we're all here for a short time, not a long time. So got that backwards then. I don't know why I'm nervous about like speaking out, But yeah, just have a laugh, fuck it.
Perfect.
It's just skateboarding, for fuck's sake.
Exactly. Totally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect.
I feel bad. I didn't bring any questions for you.
No, I'm perfectly fine not being questioned.
Yeah. What's your favourite colour?
I don't think I have a favourite colour. I have 3 favourite colours. Black, white and red. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's kind of why SkateWine branding is actually black, white and red. And this is really lame, but graphic design. What's that?
You actually have a wine bottle.
Yeah, no, my mate made me this. I actually was going to put it here, but as you can see, poor old Chaz, I spent ages setting up this so it looks skater related, and actually all you see is me. But yeah, shout outs to AJ, he got me that one. But yeah, it was something I was taught in my graphic design degree, is black, white and red, I believe, are the general rule of thumb, and I should be more educated. I can't remember what they're called now, but like formal business colours is black, white, red. So
Coca-Cola,
lame.
KFC. Like
this is black, white. This board in the background is black, white, and red as well.
It is. Yeah, I don't. I mean, my boards are Star Wars and drawing boards. So yeah, I don't have any like that.
Perfect. Well, thank you ever so much for being on the podcast, Jess. It was really good talking to you.
Thanks for asking me. It's good to have a natter.
Yeah, and enjoy the rest of the day in the sun that we are experiencing at the moment, especially up north. I don't want to be northernist, but
no, you can be. It is shite weather up here 24/7, and yeah, the fact that it's like this, I'm like, it's definitely climate change and global warming, but I'm just going to enjoy it for a second and then recycle later.
Definitely. And I say that with being half Scottish, just want to remind the viewers, or listeners should I say, because some people get a bit arsey about it, don't they?
Oh yeah, about like
the whole north-south divide. I'm half of each.
Yeah. What do you mean?
I'm half Scottish and half English, so I'm like the north and the most south. Like, you can go.
So you're a wildling and a Lannister all in one.
Exactly. Half kilt, half trouser.
Yeah, fair. I actually wore a kilt in high school. Yeah.
Really?
I went to a fucking private school.
Oh, nice.
No, it wasn't. I was on a bursary because I was a bit clever. My parents couldn't afford that shit. But yeah, the north-south divide. Yeah, it's funny though when I come down south and they're always like, "You are so northern," and I don't hear it. And then when I come down, I'm like, "Oh, I am." Like,
do you ever get that? Do you ever get that you're posh up there?
No.
Because sometimes I used to get that with being, I was an army brat. And so, yeah, people would be like, "Oh, you're so posh." And then when I went to uni, I decided to speak Somerset, and now no one understands me.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, I'm a hybrid between Yorkshire and Lancashire. So, I mean, you want to talk about like the divides? I call myself a pink rose now because I feel like I'm part of Leeds and I'm part of Lancashire. Like, so yeah, I'm just a pink rose now. But yeah, it's always funny when people ask me to say things as well. Like there was one year at an event, someone was like, they wanted me to say, you know nothing, Jon Snow, but like in the proper broad northern accent. And I ended up getting really pissed and just screaming it around the place. Anyway, we're
Perfect.
chatting shit. We're chatting shit. Right, let's go.
Again, thank you ever so much, Jess. Hopefully see you at NASS, maybe. I doubt I'll get the Friends of NASS email, but NASS, if you want to send me a Friends of NASS email, that'd be nice.
I might have a spare. I'll give you a shout.
I don't know. When is it this year? Is it mid-July? NASS.
Beginning of July.
Beginning of July. Oh, that's okay then. Because I'm hopefully going to a Flat Spot magazine event, but we'll see. But hopefully, see you at NASS.
Hopefully, if not, maybe see you around the south. Who knows?
Soon.
Right,
Perfect.
lovely to see you, mate.
Thank you ever so much, Jess.
All right, see you in a bit. Bye.
Take it easy. The final frame. Oh, man. The final frame. Now we get to see that I've got some sort of skate-related content in the background. Poor old Chaz, I set this up for ages and you can't even see it when I've got it side by side. Thank you ever so much to Jess Winter. Super good conversation. I would have liked to have touched a little bit more on the old non-PC topics, but it was a super good conversation. Absolutely love Jess. So much enthusiasm for skateboarding and everything especially NASS festival apparently. Thanks for listening. Please like and subscribe or follow on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, wherever you are. Thanks for supporting this, what I absolutely love doing, this podcast, and catch you in the next one. SkateWine, The Wine Club, episode 15. We're out. Thank you ever so much, guys.
Who you guys working for? Who is this?
It's SkateWine.
Oh, beautiful. Did you say skate wine?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.